Voices of CFMA, Construction Financial Management Association's new podcast featuring conversations with our members. I'm your host, Kate Platt, CFMA's Marketing Coordinator. This month, I'm joined by the Manager of Financial Planning and Analysis at Pepper Construction Group out of Barrington, Illinois. She is a CCIFP, the Secretary of the Chicago chapter, as well as a member of their Planning Committee and the Chairman of the Conference Programming Committee. Welcome, Jen Haub. All right, let's get into this. Jen, how are you today?
I'm great, thank you.
How exactly did you get into this line of work?
Well, I started my career in public accounting, focusing primarily on construction and manufacturing clients. My favorite audit engagements were those at the construction companies. I fell in love with the industry. I found it interesting and very much enjoyed the culture. When it was time for me to start my next chapter and move to industry, my first choice was construction. Then the cat got out of the bag within my accounting firm that I was searching for my next position within the construction industry. So while I was a little scared that everyone knew I was getting ready to leave, I was really surprised and encouraged that the partners were so supportive within my firm. They asked which companies I was interviewing with, and they had high regard for Pepper Construction, which is ultimately where I ended up accepting a position.
That sounds like quite the journey, and it's really awesome to have that kind of support.
Absolutely. You know, your first instinct is, oh my gosh, they know I'm leaving and they're going to immediately ask me to leave. But they were fantastic. I mean, they were fully involved in helping me choose my next path. So it was great.
That's fantastic. So tell me, how did you get involved with CFMA?
Well, I was invited to my first local chapter CFMA meeting by my manager and our CFO at Pepper, both of which were heavily involved in CFMA. I was involved in the startup of a subcontractor pre-qualification program within our company, and the topic of the meeting was sub-prequal. I was impressed at the meeting, as before then I had not heard of CFMA and didn't realize the quality of educational events that were provided. I was later invited to participate in the annual CFMA golf outing to support our internship committee. I definitely had the bug to participate in CFMA after my first couple of events. Through CFMA, I then heard about the CCIFP designation. I was excited to show my commitment to the industry, so I decided to take the CCIFP exam in 2008, and I'm proud to list the certification behind my name. In 2009 is when I officially joined CFMA. I also joined my first committee right away, the social committee. So needless to say, I thoroughly enjoyed the committee, and over the years, I've participated on committees and the board at the local level. I've been participating on the national level for a few years now as well, on the conference program committee, as you had mentioned before, and was honored to be included in the mentoring program last year as well. My involvement with CFMA has provided me with the confidence and knowledge to advance in my career, and has provided me with amazing friendships that I know are going to last a lifelong time. I will forever be grateful for everything CFMA has given me.
Thank you for the kind words there. We are so appreciative of the work that you do, because as a volunteer, we get so much from you guys. It's amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there a favorite project that you've worked on at any company at any point in your career where you look back and think, wow, I am so happy that I was a part of that?
I would say my first memorable project was the sub-prequal project that I had referenced. That was within the first couple of years that I was at Pepper. I was excited about this because during the implementation process, I was provided an opportunity to collaborate with people that I didn't get to interact with in my normal day-to-day activities. That included the CFO and the vice president on the operations side. At that point in my career, my main focus was preparing owner billings and coordinating payments with vendors, so the chance to add the sub-prequal process to my daily routine was fantastic. I liked the variety of daily activities, as well as the feeling that I was now contributing in more ways to the success of our company. Since then, I've also been involved in 2 ERP implementations, which are a lot of work. One at a GC where I spent a couple of years. I left and came back to Pepper. When I came back to Pepper, they were also going through an ERP implementation, so I got to do it twice in a short period of time. Both had their highlights and challenges, but ultimately ended with the pride that I was able to contribute to creating and improving processes.
That's so cool that your contribution is something that is used every day, is seen all the time. It's not an occasional contribution. It's really impacting the work that everyone is doing. That's awesome.
Yes, that's definitely the part that makes you glad for having gone through all the pain.
So on this podcast, we talk a lot about giving and getting advice. Is there any piece of advice you've received that really sticks with you?
Yeah, I would say there's definitely a couple of pieces. The first would be there's definitely times when I'm feeling overwhelmingly stressed, and I've been reminded that you have to let go and remember that God is in control. My faith is definitely important to me, and I was incredibly blessed to be paired with a CFMA mentor that shared my beliefs. That was a very happy surprise. So shout out to Pat for being amazing. Love you. You're fantastic. The other thing is I'm often reminded that I'm just always going to feel like there's too much to do and not enough time. So remember to take that deep breath and prioritize, and you'll get through it.
I know a lot of people, myself included, that can use that second piece of advice of just, take a pause, think it through before reacting.
Absolutely.
Is there any advice you have for someone new to the industry?
I would wholeheartedly advise them to go to a CFMA meeting. Not only are you going to receive quality education, but you could end up with lifelong friends. I never would have guessed that my CFMA contacts would become such close friends who I could bounce things off of, both on a personal and professional level on any given day. I'm on a text chain with a few of my CFMA girls here at the local chapter, and I love that we can reach out to each other at the drop of a hat and know that somebody on the chain is going to have a chance to respond with helpful info or even just a note of encouragement. So it's just really wonderful to have that support system.
That's wonderful that you have friends that you can lean on through whatever is happening in your life, professionally or personally. That's great to hear.
Absolutely.
I know a lot of people look forward to seeing their friends at conference, and unfortunately the 2020 conference was canceled and moved to the virtual setting. And you're a big part of the conference planning committee. Can you fill us in on what's happening with the 2021 conference and unearth some nuggets and explain how you guys managed to pull off such a massive event flawlessly every year?
Absolutely. Well, I was definitely among the top of the list of people who was very sad to not be able to see my CFMA friends in person. So I am very much looking forward to this coming year. As everyone knows, 2020 has been a year of change for everyone. This is definitely applied to the conference program committee. As everyone knows, we had our first CFMA virtual conference in 2020, and we are currently in the midst of planning our 2021 conference. And planning has looked different this year than in prior years. Due to the virtual nature of our last conference, we were unable to use all of the sessions that had been selected for the 2020 live conference. So in prior years, we would be starting from scratch with our call for submissions. But this year, we're starting with the sessions that were selected in 2020, but ultimately not presented in the virtual conference. In addition, we added an advisory task force this year made up of a variety of individuals that attend multiple industry conferences each year. We obtained suggestions for topics and presenters and then brought that information back to the CPC for review. One thing that definitely has not changed is our determination to provide high quality content and speakers to our members. Our focus when reviewing submissions is that the topics appeal to our members and are timely. We're looking to whether speakers have experience within the construction industry conferences, that we have well-defined learning objectives and practical application of the content. This year, we're also considering whether speakers perform well in a virtual environment versus just in front of a live audience. We don't know for sure what the coming months will bring, and we do need to be prepared for virtual offerings. And I'm sure the question on everyone's mind is, are we having a live conference? Will it be virtual? Will it be hybrid? As of this moment, we are planning to hold a live conference. However, as with all live events, this is subject to change due to COVID, but a decision will be made and communicated in January prior to registration opening. So keep your fingers crossed, everyone.
I'm sure everyone listening has their fingers crossed. But just to let everyone know, you are listening to this episode in January. Unfortunately, we are not in January as we record this. It is still the middle of November, so there's a lot of questions, but hopefully questions will have answers very soon. If not, you all already know. So that brings me to the end of my questions, Jen. I really appreciate you stopping by and sharing with us your work experience, your love of CFMA, and demystifying the conference process. So I appreciate you taking this time.
Thank you so much. I appreciate CFMA and I'm so thankful to have found this organization. They've given me so much. So thank you again.
Well, we're so happy you found us, and we're so thankful you love us so much that you do all of this work and all of this volunteering. CFMA wouldn't be what it is without its volunteers. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening. If you're interested in learning more about CFMA's annual conference and exhibition, check out conferences.cfma.org. Join us next month when we sit down with Andrea Williams to talk about her career and what she has in store for 2021. If you enjoyed this podcast, don't forget to like and subscribe and share on social media. Until next month.